Hey everybody, welcome to C2 Tactical. And I want to talk to my friend Destiny here, who you've seen shoot on the channel. And if you're in the Asp Unlimited app, you have seen her in what was that class called? Performance Handgun? Something. The one we just took this last weekend.
Fighting
handgun contest. And so I want to talk to her about her training journey because she's a better shooter than you, and I want to know why.
The Storm Hunter WX weather app is free to download and use and provides you with warning of severe weather even before the National Weather Services issue alerts. This advanced weather app is an important tool for awareness of severe weather that I use every day. Download and use it totally free without in-app purchases on iOS or Android at the link below.
So we just talked about this. I mean, you're less than a year into your journey.
Yeah, it's a formal journey, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you've been around guns.
Been around guns, but never trained anything. Everything was just, go out and shoot in the woods.
Go out and shoot in the woods.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's most people, right? Like, so that's most Americans. But what made the shift for you? What made you go, no, man, I need to get some formal instruction?
I wanted to be better. I felt I was always talking to people who were like, oh yeah, I'm a shooter, I do this, and it was like, oh yeah, how often do you go out? Oh, it's been probably last year sometime, and I realized I hated when they said that, but I was that person too, so I wanted to fix that.
And I mean, you were carrying a gun through a good bit of that time.
I was, yeah, and I was a decent shot, but that wasn't enough, and being the primary protector of my girls, I think really kind of boosted my
and she's got little ones, y'all. She's got, from little this little to little this little, right? So, mine are all grown now, can protect themselves, but you ain't got that. You gotta protect those little ones. So last year you started with the Armed Parent and Guardian.
Yes.
And if you're in the Asp Unlimited app, that you could see Destiny in that class. Then you came to the Asp National Conference.
Yes.
And how many live fire classes did you do at Asp NC?
Gosh, I think I had probably
like three or something?
Four. I think I ended up with 4 range.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I know. It was more than most. I was excited.
And then you went to Defenders USA's Handgun Speed and Accuracy?
Yes.
And then the one that we just did this last weekend.
Correct.
And so she's got somewhere around 60 hours of formal firearms instruction, y'all. Now, by way of comparison, your average cop, when they hit the streets, has 40. Okay? Oh. And I know you go, but wait a minute, whoa, that's a whole different world. Not really. Most cops, they come into the academy having never touched a gun. And in 2020 and beyond, that's who comes in. And they have to be competent to not do some stupid things with a gun when they hit the street, right? Hmm. So tell me what those four classes now, and that's been in a year, so I would say for a lot of people that's a big investment of money, a big investment of time, a big investment of ammo, a big investment of equipment, because you've changed a bunch of how you carry and what you carry. It's amazing when you go to class, right, what you find out.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, this thing I thought was a really good piece of equipment for me kind of sucks.
Well, you were pretty, being friends with you on the outsides too, I kind of knew what sucked from the very first time I ever showed you my firearms.
She come over to my house. She's good friends with my wife, right? And good friends with me now too. But is one of my wife's really, really good friends. And come over and be like, oh, John, look, I have this cool thing. And I'd be like, oh boy, come on. Because she's a friend, right? So you can razz your friends like you can't razz your casual acquaintances. So we fixed a lot of that.
Yes.
And now, right now, you're carrying a SIG P365 XL.
XL. Why
the XL?
It just I felt like it fit my hands better. I feel like my frame, I really don't like the super small, but I can't obviously conceal a lot.
And you can see for a woman her size, she's got pretty big hands, right? So
you got small hands, long fingers.
You got long fingers,
very long fingers.
And so that's important, right? In fit. So a 365 XL running an optic.
Yes.
And your daily carry is in a Felster Enigma.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a pretty clueful setup. You find somebody rolling like that, and you're like, okay, probably know what's going on. She knows what's up in the hood because she learned on the streets, as it were. So to somebody who is not yet taking that jump, what would you say?
Well, first off, start a savings account because it's really addicting once you start.
You
start into it. But honestly, I think the biggest thing for me was I was so intimidated to get in there because I felt, and I still struggle with it. Going to the range, I go by myself a lot, and so I know people I feel people size me up as soon as I go in there. But honestly, the biggest thing that you've helped me with is that nobody gives a shit, really. I mean, everybody's so focused on themselves. So I think that's the biggest thing is don't let the intimidation factor, I mean, stop you from doing anything. The fact that you're there shows everybody in the range already that you are dedicated to being better.
Well, and to show up in class even more so, right? So showing up to the range, absolutely. Show up to the range, and first of all, anybody that's looking at you isn't doing what they should be doing at the range. Secondly, like nobody cares. And I said this to you in class, right? So we're sitting in class and like, oh, I know when you are a woman, you show up to class first, and you're like, dude, first of all, you're probably the only woman in class in most classes. Now, the class that we just took this last weekend, half women.
Yeah, that was great.
Right, which is great.
Yep.
Wonderful, literally incredible. But secondly, like, if guys are looking, number one, of course, so Destiny is a girl, a woman, and also good looking. And so then guys are like, oh no, there's a good looking girl here. I can't look stupid. Right? So they're worried about themselves, not worried about you, not like, well, does she belong here? Let me show you a little lady or whatever. They're like, can she shoot? Because if she can shoot, now my manhood is really in jeopardy because if she can outshoot me, now I'm in real trouble. So then you show up on the line and you start burning targets down and they're like, oh no.
Right.
Not because they're like, well, wait a minute, this isn't fair. It's an attack on my manhood, but like, oh no, I suck.
Yeah, you can always see the looks kind of shift, from like curiosity to like, all right, to like, okay.
Okay. So like, hey, have you got some pointers?
Yeah.
Like, can you help a brother out?
But I would definitely say just do it. Just take the jump because not for a second I've ever regretted getting more into this.
Hey, ladies, I think obviously women are among the fastest growing demographic of firearms carriers for sure. Because of course, if we get in a fist fight, I have a huge advantage, right? Because I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I have a lot of experience in martial arts. Not that we ever would, but if we get in a gunfight, it's based on skill,
right?
With the gun, right? And so that levels the playing field, in a significant way. All right, y'all, listen. Go and get a training class in. You will find, I'll bet you might well find that you love it. And when you do, you get a new training junkie in the training junkie community. Welcome.
Thank you.